Welcome to the HR Happy Hour work break. Just me today, Steve. I'm here. How are you today? Good to be with you. Thanks for hanging out with me. A couple of things I want to mention off the bat before I get into this amazing content I have prepared today. First, and I'm super excited about this, the HR Happy Hour show posted this morning with our friend from Paychex, Tom Hammond, all about payroll year-end 2020 and payroll year start 2021. Everything you need to know about getting the payroll sort of organized, set up, closed, all the reporting you need to work on, all the information you need to share with your employees. Tom, man, he's a wealth of information. He's the smartest guy around payroll technology. Super great conversation. Spend 35 minutes with Tom and be ready to close your payroll books and open next year's payroll books. It's on hrhappyhour.net or wherever you get your podcasts, and it posted today. So super thanks to Tom for spending a little bit of time with us. I do want to apologize in advance, not just for the content, right, but also in case you pick up any extraneous construction type noise or hammering or banging, etc. Definitely been one of the work from home issues, right? Over the last 9 or months or so, we've been working from home pretty much exclusively. For me, it was 9 months or 10 months of lawnmowers and leaf blowers and just constant, like no matter what time of the day I did the show or any Zoom call or any podcast we tried to record, someone in my close proximity was mowing the lawn or doing weed trimming, etc. Today, it's been the neighbor's roof tear off and rebuild. It's been going on since 7 a.m. It did wake me up. I know I probably should have been up before that. It's 5 p.m. here now. 10 solid hours of roof rebuild going on next door, and it's super loud, and I'm glad they're getting it done. I guess we're getting a bad storm here tomorrow, like much of the rest of the East Coast, but I apologize if you get any noise in advance. And it's been tough. I wonder, like I have it pretty easy. I live alone. I don't have any pets here. There's no kids. The doorbell very rarely rings, and I'm probably not answering it anyway. But just even that distraction, right, throws you off a little bit. And especially right now, right, in a time where we're pretty locked down here in North Carolina, as in many other places around the country. There was kind of nowhere to go to get away from it today either, to try to get some work done. Like it wasn't like I could pop over to the coffee shop or even one of the local microbreweries, which I would have loved to do, and I did earlier before the pandemic came in, just to get away from it, the sound, and try to get some work done. So it's been pretty rough day around here, but hopefully they'll be done today, and I won't have to deal with it tomorrow. But I know it's a major first world pandemic suburban problem. I apologize. I have 2 other things I want to share, or maybe 3. I like lists, right? And we see lots of lists being published at the end of the year. And there were 2 lists that I caught today that I thought were pretty interesting. The first one was about company culture. So the career website Comparably, which you may be familiar with, released their 4th annual rating of large companies with the best company culture. So they did surveys of lots and lots of employees around things that contribute to positive company cultures, right? Like development opportunities, work-life balance, benefits, collaboration, etc. I'll quickly run down the top 5. And if you do a quick Google search, you could easily find the whole top 25 list. But here are the top 5, from 5 down to 1, large companies with the best culture, according to this survey put out by Comparably. Number 5 is RingCentral, right? The collaboration and kind of video conferencing company. Number 4, Zoom Video. Wait, we all know them, right? And so that's pretty cool too, that in a period of rapid growth, dramatic growth actually, right, during the course of the year, they've managed to keep their culture strong and keep everybody pretty engaged and probably pretty happy about working there. That's pretty cool. So kudos to Zoom. Number 3 is HubSpot, the marketing tech CRM company. Number 2, Adobe, right? Huge technology company. It's been very famous for its culture over a very long time. And number 1, Google, right? That's a shock for 2 reasons. One is it's Google's always on these types of lists, right? Along with other companies like Apple, even Facebook are usually on them. But Google's had some ups and downs, right, with its people lately. And there's been some really stuff in the news very, very recently, which perhaps it was too recent to be reflected in these surveys and in these culture results that maybe sort of don't paint such a great picture about life at Google. But anyway, Google was number 1 on the Comparably survey. I also want to mention just a couple of companies in my space, or our space, right, the HR and HR tech space, that also made the top 25 list. ADP, number 14, so kudos to them. ZipRecruiter, number 12. And if you're a fan like me of satellite radio and podcasts, which that's right, we've been listening to and consuming tons and tons of content over the last 9 months. I'd safe to say I've probably heard 17,227 ZipRecruiter commercials, probably. I don't know how many you've heard. I feel like I've heard a lot, but kudos to them. ZipRecruiter coming in at number 12, and number 8, Qualtrics, right? That's kind of has half a foot in kind of the HR and HR tech space as well. So pretty cool stuff from Comparably. Thanks for putting that out. And like I said, you could probably Google that and find that the whole 25 list. I don't know what you think about those lists anyway. Some people really are into those kinds of awards, the best place to work awards, best culture awards, etc. Others kind of not so hot on them. I think they're kind of valid, especially when certain companies tend to show up time and time again on various lists, either consistently on the same list over time, say something like like a Glassdoor best CEO kind of list, right? If a CEO of a given company shows up in the top 10, right, of the best CEOs in America year after year after year, I think it's pretty safe to say that CEO is doing a really good job. And the same thing to say about culture or best place to work awards as well. Consistency over time, I think, is the thing to look for. One last fun list I found today. And well, let's see. I'm just going to give it out. It's the top 5 shows, not movies or anything. We're talking about like episodic shows on Netflix for the calendar year of 2020, which is, I guess, just about over. I guess there's no latecomers that's going to usurp this list. I'll give you down the top 5 from 5 down to 1. Top 5 shows on Netflix in 2020. Here we go. And let me know if you've seen any of these, or at least what you probably have seen some of them, but let me know what you thought of them. Number 5 is Ozark, which I confess to watching the first season of a few years ago and have not watched it since. Number 4, which was big news in the early stages of the pandemic and everybody was talking about, which was Tiger King. And I'm really out of touch because I never watched Tiger King either. Number 3, The Queen's Gambit, coming on strong late in the year. I've heard great things about that. Also did not watch it. Number 2 is kind of a weird one because it's not a new show at all. It's The Office, which I think went off the air about 5, maybe 7 years ago now. Number 2 show streamed on Netflix in 2020. Everybody I know from, like, say, the age of 22 on down loves The Office, and it's probably their favorite show. I don't really get it. I kind of liked it, but not to that extent. Maybe it's a generational thing, but everybody who's probably 17 to 21 I think that's their favorite show. And number 1, I must confess, a show I've never heard of, again, a generational thing, but the number 1 show on Netflix in 2020 was a show called Coco Melon, which is some kind of a kids cartoony program. But I guess it makes sense with everybody locked down, lots of streaming going on, kids at home more than ever, firing up those kids shows as much as possible to help mom and dad sort of get things done around the house and preserve a little bit of sanity. So number 1, Coco Melon. Do we have any Coco Melon fans out there? I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. I'll watch an episode tonight. All right. That's it. So I want to, again, point everybody to the HR Happy Hour show we posted today with our friend Tom Hammond from Paychex, as well as all the other shows, all the work break shows, all the Alexa shows, all the podcasts. Everything is there, all at hrhappyhour.net. Thanks so much for listening to the HR Happy Hour work break today. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.